coming to you from Jezero Crater on the surface of Mars. This is Mr. C.
Well, 7th grade, it's an exciting Monday. I know you're glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. And I have some guests, some special guests. I'm a massive Toy Story fan. And so are my grandkids that live in Mesa. Xander, who's 8, and then Alice, who's 6. They both gave me permission to use Bullseye, and Woody has given me permission to use Bullseye as well. So I had to ask their permission, had to make sure everything was okay with you guys. Now, I wanted to use Bullseye today just to demonstrate something. So anyway, I'm pretty sure Mr. Phillip has handed out you 7th graders your first study guide. So, woohoo! So anyway, I am pleased to put it in your hands, and I'll tell you more in a little bit. But here's why I'm using Bullseye today. You remember my little figure of speech? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So you can't make him drink. And the same thing, you can lead a 7th or 8th grader to a study guide, but you can't make them triple R. There's no way. So anyway, I want to show you this to begin with. This is your first study guide packet. There it is. There's a second one that will be available to you after we finish this. And then next Monday, well, if we're through with packet 1 and 2, there's 3 total. If we finish those 2, then next Monday you'll get number 3. But 1 and 2 are printed, and I'm just going to build my semester exam test on the packets. Isn't that cool? Now, without further ado, and before you forget, would you please circle 7 on the top of this one? Please circle 7. Have you circled 7? I just want you to know that yours is a 7th grade one, and the 8th grade ones are slightly different. Slightly different. Now, on this general study guide packet, I've got all the basic things this semester that we've gone over. So, anyway, this is going to work out good. Now, let me tell you about your homework. Your homework each night this week is to triple R your study guides. Now, if you want those extra credit, yes, look for Orion in the West, but it's almost gone. I looked last night at 8:45, and I could see Sirius, but I couldn't see Orion anymore. If you look at 8:20, 8:30, maybe. Okay. So remember, you've got to point out Orion and that the belt stars point down to Sirius, the brightest star we can see. So, and that may end up being on your semester exam too. And then you've got the Big Bear or Big Dipper directly overhead at that time. And its handle stars follow the arc of the handle to Arcturus, the 4th brightest star. Sirius is number 1. Number 1. Number 4, that would be Arcturus. Follow the arc to Arcturus to the east. And then follow the 2 cup stars that point to the north that are on the outside. Follow those, and I could see it last night. They point to a star. The first one you see is dim. That's Polaris over the North Pole. So anyway, show those to a parent and kind of explain, follow the arc of the handle to Arcturus, the 4th brightest star. Explain about Sirius, the brightest star. You can still probably just see Sirius even if you can't see Orion in the southwest, low in the southwest. That's what I saw last night at 8:45. So anyhow, let's see what else. If you see a jacaranda that's still in bloom, I saw some today. They're losing their purple flowers, but you could probably find one this week, I would say. So jacaranda the desert tree with purple flowers. Gorgeous. And then the USGS website. Click on USGS and then click on USGS earthquakes. And then up at the top, find the flags. Click on that. Then click on terrain. Click on US faults. Then go up and click out of there. And then click on the American flag, kind of American flag like, and then you'll get the whole enchilada. And then point out the Ring of Fire, where we have big earthquakes because of subduction zones. And then that's also where we have big volcanoes, so in those subduction zones. And then point out the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Got volcanoes there, so point it out. In fact, I'm going to show you one of the volcanoes right now that's erupting as we speak on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Let's see if I can bring that up for you. You've got your study guide, right? And you're ready to work on it, to make notes on it, right? Won't take long. I should be up here momentarily. I could tell that Woody and, let's see if I can find this, that Woody and Bullseye enjoyed being on camera today. So, all right, let's see if I can find this. Okay, so I'm almost there. So this is, I'd give you another 5 points if you clicked on this and showed your parents. I clicked on Iceland Volcano Live, and then you can see it erupting right now. Let me show you this. Let me turn the sound up on it. It's a cinder cone, and you can hear it. Boy, that is something else. I wouldn't want to be near there. So, and that lava is running down. It's constantly pouring out and running down. So if you look in the foreground, in the bottom picture, you can see the lava field. You see that lava field? It's dry. It's black. I don't know if it's basalt or not. It might be basalt. So anyway, you could show your parents that. So there you have that awesome volcano. So now today, before I do a little bit of review with you, I wanted to go over, oh yeah, I forgot. I wanted to tell you, Friday you're going to have a quiz on volcanoes. It'll be your last quiz or test. That's it. None next week. Next week we're just reviewing. This week I'm teaching you and reviewing at the same time. So, and going through your study guides. So I'm going to get you so ready for the semester exam. Like I say, so you can't make a 7th or 8th grader study, but you can sure load them up with the information in the study guides. But I can't make you triple R. I hope you will. So, because otherwise, you're not going to do so well on the semester exam. Just because there's a lot of information. It's science. And science is based on a lot of information. All right, I wanted to review with you the kinds of volcanoes really quick. So let me show you. So first, there's a volcano that has this shape right here, a cinder cone like you just saw. That is, I don't know the name of it. It's an Iceland, one of the islands of Iceland. It's a cinder cone. It's real steep. And then the second kind of volcano is a stratovolcano like Mount Fuji. I showed it to you earlier last week. Mount Fujiyama, not as steep. Our San Francisco peaks are stratovolcanoes or composite volcanoes. So, and it's because sometimes they have runny lava coming out, and sometimes it's pasty, gooey, and it doesn't flow easily. So, cinder cone, make that shape, and just say it out loud once. Cinder cone, say it out loud. Cinder cone, little brain glue. Okay. Stratovolcano, say it out loud. Stratovolcano, like Mount Fuji. And then the Hawaiian Islands are shaped like this. They're like that because they have really runny lava coming out, and it just comes up, runs down, comes up, runs down, comes up, runs down, comes up, runs down. I get it. I get the shape. Has that shape, the Hawaiian Islands. So like Lanai and I think Maui actually is this kind of a volcano also. It's called a shield volcano. Kind of looks like the top of a shield on the top of the volcano. And then there's a dome that has really gooey, pasty magma. And what happens is the magma has a hard time coming up and stops and plugs up the vent. And then there's a lot of pressure, and the pressure builds up, and eventually it just, in a number of cases, they blow up like this. This was, it'll take me a minute to find this. I want to show you a before and after of Mount St Helens that erupted in 1980. Mount St Helens. Eventually I'm going to show you a video of the actual eruption, probably tomorrow. So let's see if I can get this up. A comparison of Mount St Helens before and after. There we go. So let's see if I can get this to come up. All right, here they are. There they are. So I'm having my issues today, but it won't be long. Okay. You're very patient. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, here's a before and after of Mount St. Helens. Over on the left, the before, and look on on the right side, the before picture, and on the left, the after picture. What happened to Mount St. Helens? It looks like it lost some of its top. It did about 1,500 feet. It just blew up in a huge eruption. Notice the trees all around at the bottom, and notice where did the trees go in the left side? Where did the trees go? Actually, it's the right side, isn't it? I'm sorry. Left side is before, right side is after. Notice the trees are gone in the right side picture. Before and after. I'll show you a video tomorrow. Now this is what's known as a lava dome, where really pasty, gooey magma can't flow because it's so gooey and pasty. So it can't easily come up, run out like the Hawaiian Islands because they're made of runny magma lava. So up it comes, runs out, has that shape. Not so with a dome. A dome, it can't come. It tries to come. It can't come. And then the pressure builds up and it inflates and inflates. It gets bigger and bigger. The magma's not moving at all. Underneath, boom, then it blows up. So that's a dome volcano. Okay? So anyway, I wanted you to see that. Okay, I am going to take you to a roller coaster in a little bit. Make sure that I still have it up. I want you to see a volcano, a roller coaster from Japan. And let's see if it's up. There it is, right there. Is this the one? Yeah, this is it. So I've got it ready to go. So, and this one is, actually this one is Six Flags, Southern California. So if you've been over there, you may have been on this particular roller coaster. Wow, 15 minutes gone already. So you've already written on your study guide. You've circled the 7th. Now this is a scientific method, so I'm going to have a few questions on the scientific method. I'm not going to tell you exactly what the questions are going to be, but circle this information. Please write up by method, steps. Now fill yours out. Steps that a scientist uses, the scientific method. Then you've got the question step. Question step would be this would be a great question. What's the fastest or the tallest roller coaster? And that's why we are gathering data. So today's is Goliath. So we're gathering data. Today is Goliath, Six Flags Cali. It's 230 feet high. And you can get going 85 miles an hour in just a few seconds and toss your cookies. Well, I would if I went on one. Ride Goliath and share your lunch with your seatmate or car mate in Goliath. So that's what I'd be doing. So I ain't going on no roller coaster. So anyway, there's the first 5 that we've had. You can see so far the data, which one's the tallest, which one's the fastest. So anyway, we're gathering data on that scientific method problem. Then we've got a hypothesis. Many of you had a hypothesis about the fastest or the tallest. So it actually might not be accurate anymore what you think might be the tallest or fastest, because they're building new ones all the time. In fact, there is a new one over in Japan, that several new ones at this one theme park in Japan. Are you going to show us those roller coasters? I am later in the week probably. So then we've got controlling the variables, all the differences, keeping them the same. You might draw an arrow from variable over to difference. Just draw an arrow from variable right there over to difference. Just draw an arrow, because a variable is a difference. Makes sense. Okay? So then you've got all the control variables. Then you've got the one variable not controlled, the independent variable. Then you gather your data. Data is like a diary. So you write down what happens, and then you look at your data and you get a conclusion, an answer to the problem. Sorry about that, give you a headache. To the problem that you had at the top. Data. Now, if you don't have a lot of data, you're not going to get a good conclusion. So I'd like you to put over by data, on top of it maybe, by data, put down lots. You need lots of data or your conclusions won't be very strong. Okay? Lots of data. Okay, so study that. So I highlighted a bunch of stuff for you. Then next you've got the metric system, and that's all I'll have time for today. So I'm going to come back and review the shapes of volcanoes. So anyway, metric system, I starred number 1, the King Henry, King, Kilo 1000, Henry, Hector 100, and so on. Mr. C, I don't see it on here. I know it's on the next page. See it right there? There it is. Now, you're welcome. I filled out most of this for you. So you're going to need to know the King Henry, what a standard unit is. Standard unit, a measurement word that everyone knows and uses, like inch, mile, meter, gram, etc. Then the metric system standard units, you're going to need to know those. Meter for length, about a yard. And then liter for volume, about a quart. And then gram, about 1/4, G-R-A-M, about 1/4 of a white paper sheet. And then Celsius for temperature. You're going to have to know 100 C for the boiling point of water and 0 C for freezing. And then reasons the metric system is such a great measurement system. Right there, Roman numeral 4. Base 10. There's just a few standard units that you need to know. It's very logical. You might want to write in logical. It's very logical. And then look at this last page that we'll go over today, this one. You just need to know the King Henry on here and the amounts. And I've got it marked up for you. Can I do? There we go. Okay, Mr. Phillip is going to answer any questions for you. You're going to ride Goliath. I'm glad you are, not me. So you're going to ride Goliath, about a minute ride on Goliath in Six Flags, Southern California. Some of you have ridden on Goliath. And then my recommendation is with Mr. Phillip's approval. So this week, I want you to really make sure that you've got your journal questions done in the back of the room under A 1 through 4, B 1 through 4, C 1 through 4, D 1 through 4. Make sure you've got those and you've done a good job, because I'll be collecting those a week from Wednesday. So he's probably going to have you raise your hand if you need a little bit more time at one of those stations. Now, if you've done an inferior job, you've not done a very good job on them, then I'd make sure that you do them, improve them. Go back, shore them up, improve them, make sure you've got complete answers to the questions. So he's going to determine those of you that need to do that. If you've got any makeup tests, get them done. Get your makeup tests done. So Get on all of that. Hey, Mr. C, I have a question. Are we going to get to use a 3x5 on the semester exam? You are. Yeah, you'll be able to use the 3x5. In fact, I'd let you use the bigger card. I'm not sure the exact size. Okay, I'd let you put as much information on both sides as you want. You can't use your study guides. You can't use your 3 study guides in the test, but you could use your study guides to make your 3x5 card or your super 3x5. Might be an 8x10, but it's not that big. So maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. 4x6, maybe. That's what I'd say. That would be my guess. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Phillip. He's going to have you ride Goliath. And then after that, by the way, you could start bringing your card in, your 4x6 card in, and start filling it out when you have a little time using your study guides. Okay? Now, just one tip on the study guides. It's the things that I have highlighted that I'm going to test you on. So, anyway, I hope you're excited about the study guides. I'm excited that I was able to get them in your hands. It took a lot of work. And your homework again this week is to triple R your study guides. Okay? Don't forget Cinder Cone, Strato Volcano, shield volcano, and then a dome where the magma just pushes out and bulges out and bulges out, and then boom. So anyway, we turned over to Mr. Phillip. Mr. Phillip, thank you, sir.